So, welcome to Liz. We're excited to have you join us today. Liz brings extensive experience in yoga and understands the power of movement, breath work, and relaxation. And Liz has some tips on how to break up the day, manage anxiety, and learn effective techniques for self regulation. So, yeah, welcome, Liz. Can you share your
Hello.
background and your expertise with us?
Hi everyone. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you. So I've been a yoga teacher for about 9 years, but I've practiced yoga myself for plus 20. Um, Teaching children, young people, and adults, and then sort of expertise took me to special educational needs and disabilities. Taught in mainstream in schools, but also special schools. And the last year, since COVID, really, um, teaching one-to-ones for home ed people, mainly children and young people, and in their own home. Um, so I do also teach older people in chair yoga, people with dementia, people with Alzheimer's, and really all my sessions are the same: to move, to breathe, to play, to sing, to relax, and just have fun. Just have fun, because some people are put off by the word yoga. They think they can't do it because you can't get your head over your shoulder. But it's not about that. It's about movement, having fun, concentrating on breath work, and actually it's available to everybody and all people. It's really great for your physical and mental health.
Great. What first showed you that movement and breath really help home educating families?
So, to be honest, movement and breath work is for everybody, isn't it? And having taught in school, I saw how strict the timetable was. There was not much room for adding little things in. It's really rigid and tight. Um, so it was an idea I had that in a home ed environment, you might be able to bring in a little bit extra time to take some time to go outside, do a stretch, do a star jump, help to regulate, certainly people that were in trigger mode, um, and introduce well-being into the day, just to make it part of your day, normal day, like you would brush your teeth. We move around. And I do believe in body awareness, being aware of how the body's feeling, how the emotions are, so that you can untangle, you can smooth out, you can take a reset, and looking after your body and your mind throughout the day. So taking these little pauses, it might only be 2 or 3 minutes, it's fine, but there never seemed to be room in the timetable at school for that. And weave it in. Try and raise your heart rate. It's really good to raise your heart rate every day with a star jump or a jump or a little running on the spot. Me and the older people do running on the spot, sitting in a chair. So I found that for the home eds, there might be a little bit more flexibility.
I think for all of us these days as well, it's so easy, isn't it, to sit in front of a screen or a TV, and or if you're at school in front of a desk, and not actually consciously move for quite a long time.
Yeah,
It's not good for us.
I've been a home worker, and the hours just pass by, and you
Yeah,
look out the window and think, "Oh, it's dark." So yeah, I think to set a little alarm or something like
yeah,
that is really good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're right. It just time goes by, and then before you know it, you've been sat still for so long.
Yeah.
So, what do you notice in children and parents when the body is ignored for too long?
I've got a little saying. I use it a lot. If you don't use it, you lose it. And that's the same for everything, isn't it? And that's the same for your body. That's the same for your mind. But we, a lot of the education programs, certainly in the one I know, is about exercising the mind. Or what about exercising the body? So you find that your muscles will stiffen, they maybe become weak, and and then it's a challenge to do anything, because you think, oh, I can't be bothered, or it hurts, or it's and you won't want to do it then. So keeping the body moving, keeping it flexible and exercised. And actually, as a human, we were built, we were made to move. We used to walk for miles and miles, searching for food,
Mhm.
searching for for home. So just a little bit of activity through the day. It doesn't have to be anything too big. I like to add in a little bit of tapping, maybe tapping into the body, into the chest, or standing up and a nice stretch with a yawn. And it just keeps the whole body activated, and it also lets you know how your mind is, because maybe you've got bogged down on something. You can't find a way out, you can't find the answer to a problem, and just taking that little natural break, which I call add a comma to the day, and then you come back to it and you think, oh wow, and you're sort of like you've started afresh again. It's like a whole new day again, you know. So it's really good. Moving, of course. There's another saying that I've pinched from somebody: depression, anxiety, and worry do not like a moving target. So if
I've
you keep
heard that one.
yeah, keep on the move, and then it can't catch you. And
Mm.
that's a really lovely one. The ultra marathon people would have another one where they would say movement is medicine.
Mm.
Nowadays, we stick with our traditional medicines of tablets and go to the doctor, but you can do things so much for yourself as well, you know.
What's one simple way families can use movement or breath to reset during the day?
So getting back to this thing about why is it so important? And I always think there's two things really in the day. One is to move, and one is to just connect with your breath, see how the breath is. And if the breath's in a state of anxiety, or you're breathing really heavily, you might be able to change it. So once you've learned to connect with yourself, then you'll find that your body asks you for things. So listening to your body. And sometimes I'll roll my mat out. This morning I was outside because we've had beautiful sunshine. And I don't really know what I'm going to do. I don't have a plan. I don't have a class. I just think I'll roll the mat out and see what my body's asking for. So if you've had a particularly busy day with your brain, it might just want you to do some breath work, or it might want you to relax. But I would say the important thing is to move your spine. So the spine likes to move in three different ways. It's actually six because you're doing both sides, but we like to do a forward and a back. We like to do a side to side, and also adding a lovely twist. Twists are really good for digestive system. And this time of year when it's chilly and we're sluggish, do a little twist from side to side. You can do it sitting on the chair, you can do it standing up. And as far as breath work goes, it really depends, like I said, how your breath is. So I find if some young people are a little lacking in energy, a lion breath is a really good one to get them really energized. Lion breath is a really funny one as well, so it gets everybody laughing, and the older people love to do it. And you would just stick your tongue out and basically shout like a lion. Oh, and it really gets the energy raised up, and especially into the mind where you might be trying to work out a puzzle. But the one that everybody loves, and I do quite a lot of voting in my normal classes and say, what breath work shall we do today? And everyone always votes for this one. It's called Brahmi breath. That's in the Sanskrit yogi world, but we call it humming bee breath. And if you think about a bee, and if a bee was humming, not zuzzing, because quite a lot of people say, if you said to somebody, what noise does a bee make? It would be zzz or buzz. But this is a more of a mmm. And for the mind, for the breath, for the nervous system, this is a really lovely one to do. And I wondered if you might want to do it with me. Maybe we'll have a little practice bee day. So all you're going to do is you're going to breathe normally. So at the moment, your breath might be a little bit short, a little bit in the chest, or it might be deep down in the belly. It doesn't matter. Whatever your breath is right now, you're not going to alter it, change it, or try and copy somebody else. And you do a normal in-breath, normally through the nose, but if you're a mouth breather, that's fine. But then the out-breath, we keep the lips close together, not pursed really tight, but close together. And we just make a little vibration of with the mouth as we breathe out. And the breath out is your own breath out. We don't have to extend it. We don't have to try hard. You might have a different tone if you're doing this in a group. Sometimes your tone is higher than the next person's, it's longer, it's shorter, it doesn't matter, it's your own breath. So I'll do a couple and then you can join in. I like to close my eyes when I do this one so you can really feel into the vibrations that go around in your head or in your throat and neck, or maybe down in the chest or even in the belly. So I'm going to start my breath now and I breathe in. See how everything feels. See how the muscles, the bones, the body, see how the breath is. See how your nervous system feels. Gently open your eyes. A really lovely one to practice as a group as well, to hear those buzzings if you hear other people's vibrations as well. It's wonderful.
So it helps you feel relaxed, actually.
Doesn't it? And it took what, 30 seconds or something, and that's how quick the body can work. Yeah.
But Liz, is it supposed to like vibrate by your lips? Because I felt mine more like in my chest.
So there are a few ways that you can practice this breath. So some people will feel it in the lips. It depends how you've closed your mouth. Some people will feel it down in the chest. What I say is, if you want to alter it, keep your tongue upwards to the roof of the mouth if you want it to vibrate through your head. If you're feeling that needs some calming, soothing, or keep your tongue lower in the palate and it will move then into the chest or even down into the abdomen. There's no right or wrong way. And actually, the way you've probably felt it is the way that your body needs it right now. So that's a really interesting thing, is to, and I always say in yoga, a lot of yoga is about noticing, and you notice that yourself. Yeah, so that's a really wonderful thing to do. And I would always encourage people to try and notice things within their own body system when they're doing movement, when they're doing breath work, and afterwards, especially like we did, just to sit and see how.
Quite often people think, that you have to go to like a yoga class or a breathing class. So would you say that, I mean, obviously it's nice to do that, but would you say that people have to do that to be able to promote and practice these things daily?
I would say not. There are a lot of options out there on YouTube. There are a lot of people doing their own thing out there. There are shorter ones because you might not have very long in the day. You can't always get to a class. So you can do a quick breath work or a quick meditation. So I would say have a look around, see what might feel good to you. There are different teachers out there. There are different ways of moving. Don't just stick to yoga. I love to go to Tai Chi, Qigong, and find your own way. And you might not have time to get to a class. You might want to just slot something in your day. So looking on YouTube, different teachers, different practices. You might have 2 minutes to spare, 10 minutes to spare. Just do a search for what it is that you want to do. So be safety conscious, though. You don't want to start wrapping your leg around your head and you've not had any tuition. But a lot of yoga's not like that anymore. It's much more flowing. It's just about moving the body in certain directions and ways. There are yoga poses, the traditional ones you'll know, like cat and dog and tree. And you'll find your own way. And I've done a lot of home practice. I used to use a video, would you believe, all those years ago, and follow a video. So I would encourage people to find their own, but also try a class as well. And with COVID, a lot of people stuck with online classes, so you don't have to travel. You can just click on your Zoom button and do one that way. So yeah, there's lots and lots of opportunity out there.
And you have got your own YouTube channel, haven't you?
I have got my own YouTube channel, which I did create during COVID. There are some meditation practice, relaxation. There is an area for the kids, a kids zone. Some of them are shorter, some of them a bit longer. Probably you'll get that 3-way movement of the spine in each class, and then some breath work as well. So you'll see the humming bee and the lion breath as well. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, thank you, Liz. Is there anything else you wanted to share with our audience?
So I was thinking about self-regulation, and the movement aspect and the breath work, versus, if you want to call it that, the academia, which you mentioned before about slotting it into your day. So yeah, maths, science and English are brilliant, and I love to learn myself and learn new things. But I would say that your movement is just as important. So try and fit that in every day. Try and get the body to move around. If you think about a baby when it's born with a body and it's born with breath. And those things will travel through your life with you all the way through your life till you reach your 90s or your hundreds if you're lucky. And it's really good to hone those and look after them. Use it, don't lose it. Because as a baby and a toddler, we do lots of body work. We do learning to crawl, learning to hold things, learning to, run. And then suddenly we forget about our bodies and we just concentrate on the mind. So I think it'd be really nice to think. I always say to people, think of your body and your breath as your friend. They're always going to be with you. Look after them, nurture them, get plenty of sleep, plenty of good, nutritious food. And those things will do you good through your life, but they're just as important as science and maths and English in my mind. And once you've done that connection and you know your own body, you know how it's feeling, how it's going to be that day, then you've found yoga. Because yoga is just about union. It's about uniting the whole of yourself and knowing yourself.
And noticing. Yeah.
Noticing and awareness, absolutely. And once you notice that, you start to notice other things, like you might notice bird song or a flower when you go outside. You might notice that somebody's struggling, or you might notice that there's something going on in your community that you might like to go to. The whole wide world just opens up in front of you.
And there's so many distractions, isn't there, these days, that to just focus on our body, as you say, for a second.
There's a lot out there that is economic, but there's a lot of other things that's free as well. But I always think, if I was locked in a room on my own with nothing, I could do some breath work, I could do some relaxation, I could do some yoga, I could do some meditation. I've got a lot of things here so I don't need outside things. Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, couldn't handle being bored for more than like 10 minutes. So I think it's good that you are able to use that as a tool to quiet your mind.
Yeah, and just pepper it through your day. So some people think, oh, I couldn't go to an hour and a half class. You don't need to do an hour and a half class then. Just break that down and do 2 minutes there and then after lunch or before lunch. And it's a really nice thing after lunch to have a rest. I think we don't give enough importance to rest and relaxation. When you've eaten, the digestive system needs to rest, to digest all that food that you've just eaten. So yeah, go back to the ancient yogis, that they'll tell you what's right for your body and your mind.
I know you said that even a few minutes a day is better than nothing, but what would you recommend as like an optimal amount of time to just be present with yourself?
So if you're talking about home ed and you're going through your timetable, maybe when a lesson's finished, take a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. But if you can and you've got time, I would do 10 or 15 minutes movement in the morning, first thing. Now, that might be just walking the dog, or it might be just some moving of the spine, like I've said. So 10 or 15 minutes in the morning. And then in the evening, I would try to do my 10 or 15 either in a meditation or a relaxation, because you've possibly had some movement through the day anyway, getting to different places, doing your swimming club if you think, how much movement have I done today? I feel I've done enough, then it might be time to rest. I understand that the top athletes put as much effort into their rest time as they do into their training time. You wouldn't think
that speaks volumes, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so important for the to relax, but also the mind to relax too.
That's definitely inspired me to have a look at maybe some breathing.
Have a little twist.
Yeah. It is though. You just sit, especially as you say, when you're working at a computer or something, you sit for far too long, and you know it when you've got up because you can feel it. But it's just,
and you stagnate as well. You do stagnate. Our minds, I think, can only take 20 minutes of intensity. and
Mm.
then they either switch off, think about shopping lists or whatever. So chunking it up, and that's probably why they did the timetable. But I do feel like in schools the timetable's got a little bit lengthy on an hour and a half lesson is
Yeah.
quite intense, really. So yeah, and still water stagnates, so don't be still, keep moving. And you can walk around learning things, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Learning maths, doing a poem, whatever. Yeah, reading a book. Yeah.
I think also like as adults, we've just become so sedentary, you know, compared to like children. I mean, they're out in the playground or they're in the garden or something. And I find
Yeah.
that like as you get older, you just kind of unfortunately move less and less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen parents playing with children, and I'm very much a get on the floor and play. But I've seen parents who don't do that, and they think, well, I can't get down there and I can't get back up. But if we keep moving and keep doing and keep trying, then it will come easier. I think when you
Mm.
stagnate for so long and things get stiff, that's when, especially in older life, that's when you think, well, I can't do that. And it's more about the mind telling you than the body.
Yeah.
Definitely. Great. Thank you so much, Liz. That was so
Thanks,
Oh, you're
Liz.
very
interesting.
welcome.
Great to
You're
catch
very
up with
welcome.
you.